I wanted to go to mines anyway, so that we could talk to Nielsen, who's apparently here somewhere. Hey, if it isn't the kids from the police, you all looking to book a room with us? Not quite. We came to ask about a case we're working on. Have you received any strange packages recently by any chance? Gehenna is about to break loose in Crossbell, and yet the SSS is spending their time. Hey, at least this time it's like packages that could be vital instead of overdue library books. It could be worse, you know? Could be worse. They're kind of the same, but we're gonna roll with it. Strange packages? Oh, as a matter of fact, the most peculiar delivery came in earlier. Why anyone thought to send it to us, I couldn't even begin to guess. Do you happen to know something about it? Jackpot. Well, actually. Lloyd really hit her with a well, actually. I can start the hidden quest. There's a hidden quest. Again, dang it. Lloyd explained the situation regarding the misdelivered packages. Oh, so that's what happened. So the package we received was supposed to go to St. Ursula then. No wonder it was chock full of scalpels and such. I can only imagine how disconcerting it was when they suddenly arrived. You got a package full of knives. That's, a concern. You don't know the half of it. Luca got so spooked she was heck bent on throwing them out with the trash tomorrow. It's a good thing we made it in time. Here, let me give you the package you were supposed to receive. Lloyd handed over the fragile package. Thank you very much. Now let's have a look-see. Yep, these are the Liberalian drinking glasses I ordered a while back. I'm positive this package is ours. Glad to be of service. Now then, could you please have the package that was misdelivered? Could we please have the package that was misdelivered to you? Of course, give me just a moment. Here you are. I trust you'll get that to the hospital where it should be. Thank you. Thanks, we will. All right, let's drop by St. Ursula Hospital next. We should inquire at the reception desk. Okay. This girl was talking to Gantz yesterday. I still don't get what all the fuss was about yesterday. I mean, I did what Gantz asked. I went up to Marlowe and said, can you just cheer up already? Well, it is what it is. Back to cleaning. Maybe today there's a quest with Marlowe? I guess we'll find out. Bro, Nielsen, where you at? Oh, here you go. Mr. Nielsen? Is that you, Lloyd? Yep. Hello. Again. I'm glad you remember me. I never forget the voices of those I've had the pleasure of interviewing. Is this man... Oh, right. Tio wasn't with us. Dark days. Dark days. Yeah, he's that famous journo. They met a little while back. I've never heard journalist abbreviated like that. That's right. Marcel Nielsen. What brings you to Mines, if I may ask? I have an interview scheduled with Mayor Vixen, as it so happens. I'll be asking him for his account on Mines' origins as a Septium mining village, as well as how it has changed in the modern day. With the topic of independence looming over Crossbell, I thought it pertinent to reflect on the state's history. Not a bad idea. That's a very insightful perspective to have, for lack of a better phrase. I'll consider it a compliment. My circumstances do give me a penchant for taking things the long way around. But enough about me. I heard you all contributed to stopping the terrorist attack at the trade conference. With that in mind, I have the urge to interview you about the matter. Would you mind terribly? You see, there are several lingering questions I have regarding the motivations behind the attack. I suspect speaking with you will help me uncover the meaning of it all. The meaning behind the terrorist attack? That's maybe difficult to divulge. That's right. Tio's right. Information about the case is restricted to members of the state government and police force. Even if we do take your questions, we'll be pretty limited in what we can disclose. That's understandable, and well within my expectations. Nevertheless, I believe there is still merit to be had in discussing the matter. What do you say? Oh. This is the quest. Participating in a second one could be a good idea if we have the time. Yeah. All right. We'll agree to your interview. Splendid. Thank you for your time. Let's begin right away then. Well, I'm happy we spoke to that person at CNS that told us Nielsen was here. Very convenient. You're right. He could really just talk to Grace. She does know everything. That is a fact. And thank you all again for agreeing to this interview. Our topic of discussion is the recent terrorist attack that occurred at the West Zemuria Trade Conference. To begin, I would like to confirm the identity of the perpetrators involved. Could you do that for me, Lloyd? It was both. It was both. Two terrorist cells from within the major powers were working in conjunction with one another. One was the Imperial Liberation Front from Erebonia. The other was comprised of members of Calvard's anti-immigration faction. That's right. Those were indeed the parties responsible. I love that his interview, he knows the answers to these questions. He's just quizzing us. For funsies, I guess. Because he clearly knows the answer. I will refrain from delving into their backgrounds and founding principles. However, it is worth noting that the two groups have no history of collaboration. And yet, they mounted a united front against the conference. I am given to understand that they were abetted by a so-called society that had also been operating covertly in Liberal. Yeah, the Society of Ouroboros. Thinking back, the terrorists were making use of archaisms at the trade conference. Do you know of the Society, Mr. Nielsen? I've come across their name before, yes. They're a bit of an enigma, to be certain. I take it your work has led to you learning of them as well? We've heard a thing or two. And the more we hear, the shadier they seem to be. At any rate, we can say definitively that their true aims are completely shrouded in mystery. Trying to deduce their objectives at this stage would be entirely in vain. I'm inclined to agree with that. Let us move on to the next topic then. I would like to review the intentions and perspectives of the two major powers in regards to the attack. My sources tell me that each nation employed outside forces in secret. Both of these forces contributed greatly to the resolution of the incident. If you want to call what they did a resolution, sure. Sure. Murder and whatever it is, hey, you did. What I find peculiar is that although the Empire and Republic foresaw the attack, they elected not to prevent it, leaving both terror groups at large. I have to wonder why that is. What do you suppose they were trying to achieve, Lloyd? Obviously, they were trying to corner Crossbell so that they could limit our military. Is that not obvious? Expose each terrorist group, no. Contain opposing political factions. What were Chancellor Osborne and President Roxman's objectives in regards to the terrorist attack? They weren't trying to force him to resign. I don't think they care about that. They weren't about this. I don't like how this is worded, but I feel like it's this. Contain opposing political factions? I don't know. This is worded so weirdly. Like, intellectually, I know what they were trying to do, but of these choices, I'm gonna say this one. I don't know if this is right or not, but I'm gonna say this one. Each terrorist group was backed by a political faction that stands at odds with its respective country's leader. Yeah, I don't think this was the answer. I think their top priority was to keep those two opposing factions in check. In Chancellor Osborne's case, he was looking to put pressure on Erebonia's noble faction. As for President Rocksmith, he was looking to deter anyone who agrees with Calvard's radical nationalists. Hey, look, I was correct. I agree. That is the only logical explanation for why they allowed the terrorists to remain at large. I don't think that's the truth, though. I really think they just wanted to corner Crossbell, so that they could impose their limit the CGF's power nonsense. As a result, the public tide has turned in their favor. Citizens from either country are raising their voices against the aforementioned factions. Political leverage, then, was the end goal. On a separate note, Lloyd, you identified this as their top priority, did you not? I found that curious. Do you mean to imply that they had another objective in mind as well? Well, Lloyd. Yeah, I can imagine one other objective. I also think it was to gain a foothold for their advancement into Crossbell. Yeah, I think this was their actual main concern. I think they could have taken out their opposing factions in their respective countries at any point. Especially if Osborne has the money to hire a Jaeger Corps, like the Red Constellation, he could have taken those people out at any time. Oh? Crossbell is in their crosshairs, so to speak. That much was clear as day when both leaders offered to station their troops in Crossbell at the conference. Yes, and the terror attack fueled the narrative that Crossbell cannot keep its borders safe by itself. That only places further pressure on the state to accept their proposals. The non-aggression pact that Liberal introduced has essentially lost all power as a deterrent at this point. Moreover, Crossbell's independence proposal has placed it square in the public eye of both the Empire and the Republic, thereby redirecting the attention of either country's citizens away from their domestic conflicts and discontent. So even that was by design. I've heard of two birds with one stone, but this is more like downing a flock with a boulder. What an analogy. Well then, I see you've all considered this in just as much detail as I have. If you don't mind, I would like to move us on to our final topic. It is apparent that the two countries had a mutual understanding as far as the attack was concerned. Do you believe this to be evidence of a greater alliance between them? There is no way it's a permanent one. It could be a temporary one. Out of the question is also a possibility. It's either a temporary one or out of the question. I think it all boils down to Osborne and Rocksmith's personalities. I don't think Osborne is the type of person to make alliances. Heyu and the Red Constellation are still at odds, but they were civil-ish to one another. I don't think there's any way for us to know at this point if there is an alliance or not. But to say it's out of the question. Let's see. Rocksmith has Kilika right now. I don't know where Kilika's origins are. Osborne has Lecter, who's friends with Claudia, but her country isn't really in this. While personally, I think it is possible that they do have a temporary alliance, I'm gonna say out of the question. No, I think that's out of the question. Ultimately, they both have the same objective, sole possession of Crossbell. Yes, that's exactly right. In the end, the incident at the conference was no more than a one-time instance of them acting in lockstep. Furthermore, Crossbell is simply too valuable for either country to let it remain as a simple buffer zone. I just gained a lot of DP. That's exciting. There's no room for allyship if each aspires to take it for themselves. Their parallel actions tipped their hands as to their conflicting motivations. Well, for a blind man, your aim is impressive. You did not need to bring up the fact that he's blind, Tio. What is wrong with you? So this was all just a warm-up before the real thing. Eventually, they're going to go at each other, guns blazing. Yes, and I imagine the war of intelligence they're waging will only worsen from here. The increasing activity from the Jaegers and criminal syndicates in Crossbell could likely be attributed to that as well. Unfortunate as it is, I would not be surprised to see a resurgence of inexplicable incidents such as those from Crossbell's past. Inexplicable incidents? What do you mean? No, never mind that. Forgive me for speaking out of turn. Peaceful music? Interesting. That aside, I believe we've sorted out a number of matters regarding the terror attack. Asking for this interview was a wise decision indeed. Thank you for your time. How does he know so much? Excellent question. Why did he feel the need to ask us questions he already knew the answers to, is my question. Likewise, this was very enlightening. I feel like he wants to be our tutor or our teacher instead of our interviewer. I think we understand the current situation more clearly now. It was almost more informative than I was prepared to handle. I'm glad to hear you found it beneficial. It would be wonderful if we could chat like this again sometime, future circumstances permitting. Of course, we'll be more than happy to. Okay, that was nice. Thank you for indulging me with an interview today, SSS. I would love to chat again should the opportunity arise. Nothing else, right? Yeah. That's good. Okay. I want to see if we can find Marlowe and Gantz before we leave Mines. Where's your daughter? Kimmy's been playing with Hoffman's kiddo all day. He's the only kid her age around these parts, so I don't care if they're friends. But they're not gonna end up, you know, dating or anything, right? Good luck with that. Marlowe was in the mines yesterday. I think this was Marlowe. Yeah. Gantz dragged me by my collar to the inn yesterday. You'll never guess what happened next. Luca, of all people, came over and told me to cheer up. Thank the goddess. She doesn't hate me after all. I never imagined Luca, of all people, would go out of her way to cheer me up. I feel like I've missed out on some drama between them. Marlowe's finally back in the groove of things now. The guy's lucky he has me to look out for him. Man, I definitely missed out on some drama here because I care too much about the people in the other places. Nielsen till we meet again. Oh, we are so definitely going to have another interview with him. I would bet money on that. Echo. 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 That was cute. All right, car. Time to go to Ursula again. I know we were just here, but we're back. Hi. Welcome back to St. Ursula Hospital, Special Support Section. What can we do for you today? About that, Sarah, there's something we need to ask you. It concerns one of our requests. Lloyd explained the situation regarding the misdelivered packages. Oh, so that's what the package was. Our nurse admin, Martha, was racking her brain over it. She thought maybe a nurse made a mistake with the purchase order. A mistake, you say? Yeah, it happens. One of our clumsier nurses has done something to that effect in the past. Multiple times, in fact. Did she? Now. Does that mean the package is currently at the nurse's station? Yes, it should be. Feel free to go to the second floor and have a look for yourself. Well, here's hoping. It really makes your heart go out to that poor nurse who was falsely accused. Just a little. Anyway, let's head upstairs. My heart does not go out to Cerrone. Did we not just talk to that guy on the balcony about those, like, curse-wording dolls?